Okay, so Alec was supposed to go first. So I guess I'll start because my information is next after his. Um, so this part or this slide is just kind of the questions that we're supposed to answer throughout, and that we're going to answer throughout this presentation.
Okay.
Osteopathic medicine looks similar to allopathic medical training. But what is it? According to dictionary.com, osteopathic medicine is a therapeutic system originally based upon the premise that manipulation of the muscles and bones to promote structural integrity could restore or preserve health. Current osteopathic physicians use the diagnostic and therapeutic techniques of conventional medicine as well as manipulative measures. In 1892, Dr. Andrew Taylor Still, who is pictured, opened the first school of osteopathic medicine in Kirksville, Missouri. This is actually the first building that he opened. He opened several more, and the school is, this is the American School of Osteopathy. But it's still running today in Kirksville. So the American School of Osteopathy marked the beginning of a new medical degree. While Still originally followed in his father's footsteps to become a licensed MD, he lost his 3 children. And he felt that the medical practices of the time were sometimes ineffective or even dangerous, like the using mercury and things like that to treat. And so after about 10 years of study and research, because he wasn't happy with those types of treatments, he observed the effects of the osteopathic manipulative medicine, or OMM, and treating a patient as a whole versus treatment of one's symptoms. His discoveries are what inspired him to open the school, and which grew to become its own but similar entity of education and the degree we have today. And today there are also a little bit more than 30 accredited osteopathic colleges in the U.S. And there's, I think they said about like 45 different campuses, because some schools have more than one campus, but a little more than 30 schools that do it.
So these are some of the foundations of osteopathic medicine. Osteopathic medicine focuses on the entire patient, considering such factors as lifestyle and environment. Doctors of osteopathy are trained to promote the body's natural ability to heal itself instead of only treating symptoms. Beep. Similarities to allopathic medicine are that osteopathic and allopathic medical students study the same basic and clinical sciences required to master medicine. Both students attend medical school for 4 years, and during their 3rd and 4th years, they work as residents. And both students are required to take a board examination for licensure. Osteopathic medical schools. Today, more than 20% of medical students in the United States are training to be osteopathic physicians. Colleges of osteopathic medicine are graduating more and more students each year. More than 4,800 new osteopathic physicians are entering the workforce each year. Osteopathic physicians work in partnership with patients to help them achieve a higher level of wellness by focusing on health education, injury prevention, and disease prevention instead of just focusing on their symptoms. And how does osteopathic training differ from traditional or allopathic medical school training? Beep. Osteopathic students receive approximately 200 additional hours of training in osteopathic manipulative medicine, or OMM. And OMM is a hands-on approach to medicine that supports one of osteopathy's main principles, that the structure of the body influences its function. So it's more of a holistic approach. DOs that are actually practicing OMM use their hands to diagnose and treat patients. Osteopathic medicine is designed to treat the whole patient, both mind and body. Okay, so this is supposed to be Cambria's section, and I emailed her, but she isn't here. So she actually interviewed 2 doctors. So this is Dr. Burrell, and he studied at Western University Health Sciences College of Osteopathic Medicine of the Pacific, and that so long ago, that's probably the one in Southern California. Go ahead. Oh, it looks like he speaks both English and Spanish. She asked him if there are important differences between MDs and DOs, and he told her that more MDs specialize, where most MDs work in primary care, such as pediatrics, family practice, and emergency medicine, which I also found to be true research, even though some DOs do specialize. He told her that DOs are more likely to treat the whole person. DOs do spinal manipulations similar to chiropractors, so they use their hands in treating the patient again. Most colleges of osteopathic medicine are private as opposed to public, so their tuition is a little bit higher. And as private schools, they don't practice affirmative action, so they enroll the top candidates, period. So he didn't, as a white male, he didn't have to fight for his spot. Beep. She asked him, are there feelings of competition between allopathic and osteopathic students? And he said that not really. Once you're in school, all students compete as students. They compete to be placed in the few schools with seats available. Once a student is in college, they don't worry about any other competition besides with their peers. And there used to be a problem getting rotations. At the time that Dr. Burrell was in school, there were some hospitals who would not let DOs do rotations, which I live in a town where there is medical school, and I have talked to some students, and they have also told me that there are some places where there's DOs don't do rotations or MDs don't do rotations. In order to specialize, many doctors of osteopathic medicine used to have to do internships in MD programs to get certified. And in order to solve this problem, as of 2020, the systems assigning residencies will complete their merge, simplifying the process, so students will only need to apply to one system. They won't separate MDs and DOs. It'll just be one system, which I was also told. Beep. She asked him, why did you choose to be a DO instead of an MD? And he actually had a family member who was a DO that encouraged him to try that field. He looked into being a chiropractor, but he wanted to be able to prescribe medicine as it was necessary. He applied to many schools after doing his undergraduate work, but he wasn't accepted to any MD schools, but was accepted to 4 colleges of osteopathic medicine. And he told her that he would rather be a DO any day now. Beep. Beep. Amanda. Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, am
There
I
we go.
doing this one?
No, I just wanted you to go next. Next
Oh.
slide. Okay, this is Dr. Jeffrey Morgan, and he is actually the dean of a medical school that's down in Arizona. She asked him, why did you choose to be a DO instead of an MD? He said he was fortunate to be accepted by both an MD and DO programs. And the allopathic school was concerned more with research and peer-reviewed papers. The interviewers at the osteopathic school were more focused on him and the qualities he would bring to the field. And after interviewing at both colleges, he decided to attend Michigan State University College of Osteopathic Medicine. I believe she said that he was in the military and the osteopathic college was more interested in that and what he had learned in the military and what he could bring to the school there.
Yeah.
Next. She asked if there was discrimination based on whether someone was a DO or an MD. He said definitely not, and that physicians and administrators view the programs and their graduates as equals. All physicians are admired because of their experience and research. Some older MDs may remain biased, but that's their personal view and not really a common problem. She asked about important differences in their curriculum, and that he said that osteopathic colleges have long taught a value-added approach. She mentioned that that was something where if a doctor was going to, for instance, prescribe medication, they think about not only if the medication is going to have an effect, but what else is going to add to it. If the patient is actually going to take the medication, if the patient has the ability to go to the pharmacy and pick up the medication, how the whole lifestyle surrounding the medication, not just how that medication is going to affect their symptoms. Arizona schools send second-year students into the field to work in low-income clinics with a cohort of 10 students and their instructors, and students benefit from total immersion and help the communities they attend to. Next. Jerry.
This is Abraham Flexner. He was born on November 13th, 1866, and he was hired by the Carnegie Foundation to be the writer for a medical report known as the Flexner Report, and he died on September 21st, 1959. Next. He opened a college preparatory school in Louisville. He was married in 1898, was a consultant with the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, and established the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, and too served as its first director. In 1910, the Flexner Report was set for the ranking of medical schools for investment by the Carnegie Foundation. Flexner had no real authority, but as a result of the report, several types of schools, including chiropractic, eclectic, and homeopathic schools, suffered high closure rates due to funding or licensing issues, educated medical schools on the requirements that they must meet. The recommendations was the state should license medical schools. Only teaching hospitals backed by a university should remain working. Increases prerequisites for entrance to medical schools. Also, the effects on medical schools encouraged the states to take over governance of medical schools. It influenced the percentage of students. Evidence-based medicine became the focus of health care. Prescriptions became a more common practice. And all but 2 black medical schools were closed during a period of segregation, leading to a large drop in black doctors. On osteopathic schools, the percentage of the alternative medicine was decreased, and a lot of small schools were closed. So I really liked this saying because it was by Abraham Flexner, and he said, science in the very act of solving problems creates more of them. And the reason why I chose this is because he made this huge report that changed the way that the medical field is, but yet he also sees that there's still problems in it. So
Very good.
Can you invite
So this
Alex?
was Alex as well, but it basically just summarizes the.
Cambria is here now. She can do Alex
Okay.
part.
Go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can.
All right. And Alec also needed an invite. Somehow he didn't get it. He's on the chat.
I sent
But-
it to
Okay, great. He said osteopathic medicine foremost works with manipulation of muscles and bones to promote the structural integrity and improve or restore health. They look at other options other than simply using medications to heal the overall person. Osteopathic medicine is a holistic approach. MDs tend to be more specialized, while DOs work often in primary care because they have the more whole person approach. They're able to be great coordinators of care. However, if a DO wants to be a specialist, they are not discouraged. Abraham Flexner and his report was a very important piece of work in the history of medical healthcare because it encouraged the states to begin regulating the education that was going on. Osteopathic medicine is a growing field for the physicians, and each year 4,800 students graduate with licenses. While there are still some misunderstandings, most people agree that whether you're a doctor of osteopathy or a medical doctor, you can be very beneficial to your patients.
Okay, very good.